Welcome, my name is Tony, and in today's video we analyze the news of Michael Burry. With the big short to Standard & Poor's and NASDAQ, the world is ending. It seems to be right now that Bitcoin is testing the annual support that has come from the beginning since 2023. We are going to see in detail what it can mean and how we can prepare for it, in addition to the technical analysis of Bitcoin and the change that I have made to Bitget. Because Bitget has now put it again with cake, I am going to recommend, or I am going to show you the exchange houses that I am going to use from now on and how my trades are. Thank you so much to all the likes and new subscribers. Well, we have Michael Burry with $1.6 billion, the big short, that came when the big suprams the world ended because, of course, he has put a short of $1.6 billion in everything these Joe Jonah worlds, and that now we have to sell Bitcoins because, of course, the whole market is going to fall. No, we are going to do a little more serious. So, this is the first thing that comes to mind. You see this news on the web pages. It's impressive, gigantic, and you say, oh my, it's going to fall at the price of Bitcoin. It would have to sell. But let's go step by step. What I have thought is, how curious that this news is around when the minutes of the Fed, in addition, Bitcoin testing the annual support that has been coming for years from this part of here. I am going to get in medium. Let's see if it didn't cover up much. And of course, it seemed a bit surprising to me. Right? In addition, we have had a significant drop. Well, it seems that what the Fed has given is good news, and the price is recovering. Precisely, the price has touched support, the annual support that we have been commenting on, and it seems that it is rebounding and has held up well. My grid bots have been able to buy me cheap Bitcoins, so thank you very much for the cheap Bitcoins, and we'll see if this support holds up, because now it's in a critical zone. And the most interesting thing to me is, look at everything that's going on right now in Christ. We have this yearly uptrend, right now texting support, but look, with the price where it is right now, how many days do we have left to hit support? 1, 2, 3, 4. This coming Sunday, we will touch this price level. We will touch the annual support. If the price rises, it can last until the end of August. Everything coincides, for me, you already know, which is super important with this date here, which is when the Fed, not the Fed, the SEC, has to decide as the first deadline if it gives the ETF to BlackRock. Also, they're talking about Grace Kell resigning from the SEC because she wants her ETF too, because of Bitcoin. So everyone's fighting over Bitcoin with $27 trillion in total assets that's being run by all these companies that we have. Here, gigantic. Well, we have all of that right here together right now, fighting, trying to figure out what's going to happen next. And everyone now freaking out about Michael Burry. Total. Here he gives us the information and tells us, well, I'm already trying to play a joke and I don't have to play a joke. Basically, he's put up about 700 million against the Standard & Poor's 800 and 700 or something. The Standard & Poor's almost 900 and 700, the NASDAQ, okay? In short, okay? But with options. So, of course, with options, this is 1.6 trillion. Well, perhaps it could be 1 million, or who knows how much a small amount could be for him. It could be. It might be 1.6 trillion in options. You know, options are much cheaper. It's like leveraged markets. So pay close attention. Attention means that those 1.6 trillion, that there is some news that is saying, well, Michael Burry has put everything, he has put 100% of his capital against Standard & Poor's and NASDAQ. Well, I don't think it's 100% of his capital. I think it's a small part. Also, some other news has put that it is long in some stocks, total. Let's see the predictions, he said. Because, of course, he has Twitter, and he is putting it there. Here we have Dan Cook, who has put up a summary. And basically, when the famous short, where the Big Short movie was made, well, he predicted, yes, the real estate collapse of subprime mortgages in 2005. But it didn't happen until 2008. That 3 years in Christ, Well, we already passed the halving, and we are in the next to see marketing in 3 years almost. So, well, here are some other projections that look more clear on the chart. Basically, he predicted a crush here. Yes, there was a little correction, but hey, then it went up pretty big again. He said it would fall. Well, it went up. Yes, there was a correction here, but it went up again. Here, he also said that there was a correction, and indeed, here there was. It was still bearish. But the market went up like crazy. It was still bearish. But I mean, I would take the Michael Burry issue with a grain of salt. And yes, I would be very attentive to this area here. Because what is spectacular that with the whole issue of ETS from BlackRock, no, all the big ones, all the big banks, BlackRock, Fidelity, Invesco, JP Morgan, everyone who is now applying for ETS or similar Bitcoin spot things, the Bitcoin price has stuck. Like a stablecoin, it has been frozen, but frozen at such a level that never before in the history of Bitcoin has the price been with such low volatility. Never before in the history of Bitcoin, look at where the volatility is and still going down. So how curious that exactly that is happening before all the mess that the SEC now has to decide on the issue of Bitcoin. If we take a little more distance, then I think this support has a good chance of holding because it has already held on several occasions. It's here, it's here, it's here, and now we're texting it. The levels we have already mentioned to you on other occasions. If we lose this support, I think that here we have an important one. The 28,500 approximately before that. The 28,800. Everyone is talking about the 25, the 26, well, 1-1 option. I'm not going to risk any short toe long for now. For now, I mean important. What I do have are positions, as you know, in greed bots, okay? Right now, I have these 2 positions in Bitcoin, and I have this one here until, I think up to 28,500, that is. If the price goes down, I continue to buy cheap Bitcoins, and I have this position here until approximately 26,600, okay? Which will make purchases from me every time the Bitcoin price corrects. One thing I wanted to tell you is that, well, Bitget, apparently, at least in the application, today the YouTube light hasn't even turned on. Let's see if I can turn it on now. Now better you can't see me. Total. They have removed, well, they have already set me to activate all the Bitget functionalities that YC does. Therefore, you know, my philosophy is that I'm leaving Bitget immediately because I don't want to make YC stop with now I have started to take out and where am I going to go? I'm going to the NEX and the bank. Okay? I have already started to transfer capital to MEX, and some good things about it are that it has no fees. That is, for spot it is 0, and for the future they are very low, extremely low, and there are also many prizes that can be achieved quite easily. For example, $300 in futures, you make a deposit and they already give you $5. They give $20 if you do this. Well, you can see it there on the website. If you want to open an account with a link from the trans community and money, you already know that you have the link below in the video description. I am in the middle again, and now I will move all this. I have to choose the KYC thing, but basically I am going to go to MEXX and L Bank. Another thing I really like about MEX is that it has Monero, okay? What I like in L Bank are the greed bots. Oh, by the way, I've got a position now, it's 10%. The greed bots, basically, that I like about L Bank above all. And well, I'll have these 2 exchange houses for you. You know that I like to distribute my capital for security reasons, and well, start with that. MEXX and L Bank, I'm leaving Bitget. And in XX, there's also a competition that I'll link to now, in case you want to participate. And well, this is the situation as I see it right now. On the edge of the knife, I have more or less with those two positions at 28,500, I think, and 26, where, if the Bitcoin price corrects, I am going to continue buying Bitcoin because I believe that in this area there, this area here, more or less, that may have a more downward correction, well, if it may be, it is where we are going to have the momentum of Bitcoin, when the SEC really decides if it gives BlackRock, because I believe that it is practically certain that it is going to give BlackRock the ETF, due to the history that BlackRock has of ETS, which has obtained the ETS that it has proposed 97% of the time. It could be that Bitcoin price skyrockets. That's what I think. Fired, I mean, well, at 50,000, neither is there anything special. We already know that the challenge is really 31,000, because it comes from this area here on 2 December 2020, let's say 21. From 2021 until now, this area has been a fairly important tradio area. So for me, it's an area where it's starting. I'm already getting long with the video. It's starting to accumulate a lot of energy. And breaking this 31 is going to be violent. That's what I think. It's going to be violent, a guy like that. That is my opinion. The Standard & Poor's, well, we have it at all-time highs practically. It seems to me to be 5% of the all-time high. Following the upward trend, we have just broken the local support right now. But now the Federal Reserve is really good news. I hope that it manages to remain at least stable. The DXY and long-term trend is bearish, but in the short term it is bullish. And from, I believe, 103,812 is where it will find super strong resistance. And this is the bearish trend that I see in the DXY. Also, we have that it seems that the Finch is about to be downgraded. I know what many banks in the United States would be called in Spanish, apart from the fact that they have already done it with the United States debt, so they are going to be in interesting times. I think they are trying to destroy the market in a very interesting way, not throwing down the debit coin price, but leaving it boring, leaving what I believe is that this is already a move by BlackRock or whoever the player is. That is why there are people who are leaving Christ, who do not have water. I think that people bear worse than the Bitcoin price being stable, than the Bitcoin price having a very strong rise or fall. So this August is going to be key for me. This August is going to be impressive, I think. Or early September, where we're going to have very violent movements. I think they're going to be bullish, especially when BlackRock gets the Bitcoin ETF. I think the amount of inflow of money is going to be impressive as it happened with the gold ETFs. Well, I'm going to leave today's video here. Thank you very much to all the likes, to the new subscribers, for the comments that you have left me in the previous video, which seems to have been quite successful. I wish you all good luck with your straights, health, love, and fortune, and see you in the next video.